You are watching Omnis Protocol. I am Charles, also known as Omnis, and we're back with another Star Wars Shatterpoint Battle Report from the Evergreen Open. And joining me is Dizzard from Rogue Support, my brother in the dark side. What's going on, dude?
Oh, not much. Just enjoying a wonderful day coming off of a con. So it's always nice to recoup, relax a little bit when you get off of one of these.
Yep. I'm keeping the hype going, want to work on these, share them with the community. Very excited about the Korriban table that these gentlemen are playing on. So just to point out a couple of things, you can kind of see where the ingress points are marked. I put just a little bit of that lime green on the top of the ingress points to try to help it be easier for the viewer and for the players. And then the other thing to point out is that that kind of pillar that's on top of the slate. I don't know what to call that. The highest ground, that is representing the ingress point, and there's points below that where the players can get up next to kind of teleport up instead of using a ladder. Anything else you want to point out on the table before we get rolling, Dizzard?
Yeah, just something that I think is super important to note and really cool to see here, because we have Pawn 7 Scorch versus Pawn 7 Scorch, is if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see just the efficacy that this combo is having across missions, because this is a very spread and hard to contest everything. The Pawn 7 Scorch play is arguably better than Old Infiltrate.
Yeah, it's very good, very strong. We're seeing that particular combo of characters run with a lot of different things. Probably was like 7 or 8 different primaries potentially fielding that over the course of the event. And then how to round out the rest of the package. Super powerful part of the meta, and how to punish that was probably a big part of your list design and kind of a big part of these games in general.
Indeed.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get right into this matchup. We have Ryan from the Pacific Northwest community on the left playing Obi-Wan and Kit Fisto. And then on the right-hand side, we have Kenny from Zion's Finest from the Utah community, who is rocking Hunter and Anakin. So let's get right into this game, shall we? All right, this looks like strategic positions. What do you think about strategic positions for this matchup?
I love it. I think I've been having a lot of discussion lately about how Never Tell Me's might be Republic's best thing, just because of how much out of activation. A lot of them are pretty force free, giving Pawn 7 Scorch, so you're able to pay for challenging the odds. But for strategic, I like it as well because of all the mobility that you have, and we're in a ranged meta in my eyes, so having that cover accessible is really nice for early game.
Yeah, one of the things that we noticed in playtesting, Ryan and I had played a game. I think I brought strategic positions. I don't remember exactly, but we were finding Kit to be just really, really effective on strategic positions. And so that really kind of helped cement that decision for him. But talking about what's going on, Ryan pulled Obi-Wan to start. He elects to reserve and take that jump to get Obi a little further up the board, and then pulls Shatterpoint. There's a little bit of a discussion going on about, can he shuffle the Shatterpoint back in after reserving? And he can. You can't do it in the opposite order. You can't basically go to shuffle the Shatterpoint back in, pull a card, and then reserve afterwards. That you can't do because of how that's worded in the rule book. But Shatterpoint, what do you think here, Diz? Do you have a Shatterpoint preference?
I don't like going in Shatterpoint this early with 7 Scorch just because you feel wasted with them. I don't mind Kit because it puts him in position, and he's going Kit. I don't mind Kit just because it puts him in position that all of the dashes and jumps and stuff that you can get with him become incredibly annoying to deal with. So it's just priming the game, getting Kit up the board with basically no investment.
Yeah, I agree. I would not want to do 7 Scorch here, which is not what he's doing. He is going to go ahead and take the opportunity to get Kit further up the board. I think this is an interesting choice here. I'm not sure what would be my preferred pull, because you have a lot of options. Mm-hmm. There's a part of me that wonders if I want Obi up on the point first. having Obi on the midline, hunkered. I don't know. What do you think about Kit versus Obi?
So I think Kit has a better expertise for defense than Obi does. Kit's expertise is insane. Kit's defense is insane. Like, Obi's great at defense, sure, but have you tried throwing dice into Kit? It's not fun. Like,
I am thinking, like, in the 7 Scorch matchup, one of my recent considerations is that maybe Obi-Wan does flip to his, is it Shien? Like, what's his other side? I think
Ataru.
it's Ataru this side, Soresu the other side?
Yep, Soresu. Soresu and Ataru.
Yeah. But he's got more raw blocks on the Soresu side, and I think into a matchup like this, it might be worth it to sit defensively. But in retrospect, maybe you do, like, I think the hard part is, I think Obi-Wan still gets there. I think maybe I would have just taken the Obi-Wan play, right? Because he reserved Obi-Wan to get more distance, which seems functionally strong, but there's not really another great play here. So, yeah, maybe my feeling is just to do the Obi-Wan and have Obi-Wan on that point hunkered would have been really nice. But he elected to do Kit Fisto. He got Kit Fisto up on the point. Just sort of cost him an extra force. And then that does give Kenny the Hunter movement, which really helps out because he pulls Hunter next. Having the Hunter moving closer to Kit Fisto and now means that he can get over to that objective. And he's starting off with the striking distance, so he flips stances. And he rolls 1 crit, 5 expertise, which is kind of perfect in this situation because Kit doesn't have crit mitigation, which kind of maybe means that you kind of wish that it was Obi-Wan there, who would have stopped a lot more. What do you think about the Hunter pull for Kenny here?
All right. So I honestly don't know. I'm not a big Republic player, so like a lot of Republic nuances, like stuff that like goes over my head. I really like, I don't know, it's hard. Playing Kit and Obi, in my opinion, is kind of like really interesting, and I'm surprised it's done here just because of the fact that it's 2 rather support defensive primaries. And I don't really know which way or the other. So I'm really curious to see like decisions here. Cause like in my head, I'm just like, I kind of want Kit because Kit's going to be the one doing more things, where Obi's kind of fine just leaving back. Right. Like I don't really need Obi to get in, but I need Kit too.
So one of the interesting things with the Hunter play, right, is that he rolls the 5 dice, does not get a fail. Hunter does not get to remove a fail from his 5 dice attack. It has to be a combat action attack. So there is no trigger for Kit Fisto there. And he is strained. So he can't just take that jump and not take damage. I think he rolled the expertise for a defensive jump, but the gajillion blocks did nothing against raw crits. And so he elects to just drop the hunker token, heal the strain, back up onto the back objective, and just try to deny Hunter getting a good tack, because obviously Kit could get back up there, but then it means that Hunter gets to make a 7 dice with a die modification into Kit. And so he elects to just try to deny that. And it would have had a fixer die if he was up there. So I think he's just, and now there's a consequence of if this Hunter attack goes bad, he could potentially just let Kit jump back up. So he basically denies Hunter an attack there, which I think is smart. A really clever play that I don't think most people would have realized. Yeah,
I think taking unnecessary damage, you're putting Kit into the kill range, especially against Hunter, and then I'd rather rob Hunter of efficiency. That feels good to me. Hunter is one of the keys of efficiency in this game. Robbing him of that is amazing.
Yep. Save yourself health if you're playing the defensive list. So it looks like we've got Obi-Wan activating now. And so I think the logic here is, hey, there's only one guy on the point. if there was a time to Obi, it's entirely possible that it's right now, right? Where Obi's really good at dealing with getting one guy off the point. And so of a walk, hello there, and 10 dice attack coming.
Yeah. It's also just like you were talking about earlier, we'd rather have Kit or Obi up there. They're both extremely defensive. I would love either of them up there. I have the opportunity to put the one that has more health up there now, so I'm going to. And it's just backing up. I'm a big fan of reinforcing points before it's too late. So this is exactly what he's doing. He's putting something on that point to where any of his other draws coming up, he'll be able to go put a second body from a different unit on that point. And that's, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that here in the next couple of plays, is another body going up there to reinforce that point.
So there was a judge call there where just wanted to see if Hunter got into range of the coordinated fire strain, and it ended up being the case. So pretty solid, not like the best Obi-Wan attack roll, but solid. So 5 blocks for Hunter, which is pretty good. Maybe just slightly above average, factoring in his rerolls. There was a little confusion. Ryan was looking at Kit's tree there for a minute instead of Obi-Wan's tree. Just all the primaries to start things out. So here we just kind of got Ryan kind of evaluating how many shoves does he think he needs here.
So he's going to keep it in that Kit bubble too.
Yeah. An interesting choice with going with the coordinate fire strain is that he can't do supporting fire, or I forget what, supporting assault dash from Kit. Which is kind of an interesting choice.
Does Hunter have a dash or a repo on his defense expertise?
I think he does, but it's on like 4.
But the thing is, though, is like it always bites you when you don't want it to. So it's like getting that strain on there basically says you will not do this to get back on this point. Like, it's I love that play where if it's somebody that has expertise movement, then I will put strain on them or pin if I can to make sure that I don't care if you roll the Yahtzee, you're not getting what you want out of this.
Yep. All right. So just to recap some scoring a little bit, obviously Kenny got 3 in his first turn. And then the second turn for Ryan was also a score of 3. Hunter is still on the high terrain, but off the objective. Pawns pull here for Kenny, which I think is a fantastic pull for him. Just being able to get a free dash to move Fixer up onto the objective is huge. That makes the dash from Hunter plus the dash from Pawns basically just having a free body on a point is pretty huge there. And Fixer is reasonably durable. Don't want to say tanky, but he's got some heft. And then here we've got Pawns rolling an attack into Kit Fisto. And so just 2 blocks for Kit. And really good attack from Pawns. Man, sometimes Pawns just fires off, especially in a Hunter list.
Like Pawns under Hunter feels really good. But Pawns in general, like a lot of times, all he needs is 2 down his tree. It's kind of like Maul, right? Where it's like I just need 2, and with 6 dice, I'll probably get 2.
Damn. So Pawns' turn wounds Kit Fisto, and he hits the repo so that he has Fixer and Pawns on that point. Man, when your Pawns gets to have that much impact, that is a really good sign for the game. And Kenny scores 3.
Yeah, I think, like you said earlier, the efficiency that Hunter gives to Pawns makes him, man, like he's like, wow, look at this guy. But even without Hunter, Pawns is really good these days.
Yeah, he doesn't roll that many dice, but he's got good expertise and just often has some like really solid attacks. So looks like the poll is 7 Scorch for Ryan. So he's got 7 Scorch or opposite 7 Scorch. So the question is do you just send your 7 Scorch after the opposing 7 Scorch? Which, I don't know, might be fine. What do you think here? Do you reserve 7 Scorch and try to go for something on the other side? Or are you going to just try to take those 2 back points? Because killing 7 Scorches with 7 Scorch is not crazy.
Yeah, but no, like that's like one of the best things about playing 7 Scorch is they can hunt 7 Scorch. And if you have a window to wound your opponent's 7 Scorch before your 7 Scorch are wounded, I kind of like taking that window whenever it presents itself. Not to mention, they could very easily get to that because of ladders and like ingress points, get to those and potentially even steal a point off of that play. So getting a wound on 7 Scorch early in the game before yours are wounded kind of sets the tone of the game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's honestly would not be crazy to kill 7 Scorch, score 4. Like you are depending 100%. On dice a little bit. But since both 7 Scorch on Kenny's side are just barely on, if either your 7, like if your first 7 Scorch goes far enough down where you shove one of them off, you can deny protection to the damage roll and then focus on killing that one. That could be huge, but he does elect to reserve 7 Scorch and pull Kit Fisto, who has already been wounded. We're 3rd activation for Ryan, and we already have a wounded character now flipping to injured and coming back.
I don't hate this either. Like, yeah, like again, we talk about the 7 Scorch play, but going with Kit Fisto here because he has to. I don't hate just because Kit is so impactful only when he's up.
So here what we have happening is Ryan did not elect to use force speed. He elected to walk to the ingress point and bring Kit up, which allowed Hunter to move towards Kit Fisto, which he goes down, ends next to the ingress point, and then comes up on the other side. So now there's 3 models, and he has pinned Fixer in. This feels like one of the maybe could be potentially like one of the worst plays for Ryan in the game and one of the best plays for Kenny here. That Hunter play is huge.
You got to remember when playing Hunter, if you have mobility, that is not an action. You have to use it more than you want.
Yeah. Yeah. So here now he has a really difficult decision. Obviously his plan to take the point was to shove Fixer off the point, which is pretty reasonable for Kit Fisto. But now he's stuck in a position where now he has to kill Fixer. There's a small world where you're like, well, do I just try to go for the wound on pawns or, you know, cause you have a better chance of shoving him off, or do you get the damage on Fixer? What are your thoughts there?
At the end of the day, it's kind of a rough pickle because, like, who do you kill? Like, the easy kills pawns. I would argue, honestly, trying to kill Fixer might be the better route. If not, you kind of concede the fact that maybe I'm just losing the struggle and I'm just going to try to get chip damage to make struggle too easy.
Yeah. So I'm exactly with you. I was watching this game at this point and I was hoping that Ryan would attack Fixer because I think even if you don't get Fixer, you want the chip damage for later on, right? To start, cutting down on bonus dice for other characters.
Well, it's like we look at this point of the struggle and it's very much like I'm probably losing this struggle. I need to make struggle 2 fast. So getting damage spread makes it to where 7 Scorch can get a double, sometimes even a triple wound if things are perfect. Like, it's setting kills up for struggle 2 and like realizing the board state is so important in this game. And I think that we do see Ryan doing that here.
Yeah. So what we kind of have going on here is good block for 7 Scorch, but a bunch of crits Kit crits are going to go through. And so now he starts to go, wait a second, can I use find opening? And so this is what they're trying to discuss right now. But the problem with this is that I'm catching this for them in the moment. Kit has used coordinated fire strain, and so he cannot use find an opening because both have they're on attack trigger. So good thought from Ryan to try to because he's one success away from getting the wound. And so if he, flips an expertise to a fail, he ends up swinging this and gets the kill. And so kind of what they're discussing here is, well, this one says combat action, this one doesn't, but they're not like Rule 17 and, I'm going to end this or that sort of thing. They're both triggered off of just making an attack. It just, the coordinated fire says combat action because it can only be used on an attack that is part of a combat action. So
yes,
doesn't end up being a good turn for Ryan and just scores 2, but maybe helps him with a little momentum. And maybe Anakin?
Well, it's like we were talking about, though. Like, you have Hunter here with 6 health conditions, Fixer with 7 health condition. They're both on Door's edge. If he gets a way to move 7 Scorch into a position to where they could literally bomb Fixer for one point of damage off of that, there's a free kill off of just an ability. Shoot Hunter, they could easily kill him with one of their attacks, and then still shoot something else. That's a 2 wounds. That's a fast struggle, too.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfpack could definitely kill Hunter and Fixer in a single activation. All right, so it is an Anakin. So Shatterpoint Anakin. Anakin walks and jumps, and first attack's got a couple of fails, but he looks like he's going to have 3 crits go through on Kit. So Kit did roll because Anakin had a fail, Kit removes the pin. Now we got a not great roll from Anakin. That is 5 hits, 3 fails. And then it is going to be a full block from Kit. No damage on I'm going to end this from Anakin.
Wow. You love to see it.
The legendary Anakin whiff.
So I want to point out something here that I think is important to understand just for games of Shatterpoint and strategic. If we look at the top middle point, the tip of the triangle or Dorito, whatever you want to call it, look how many models are on that one point. I like to call this the clump. I think this clump is almost inevitable. And I think that you need to make plans for strategy P, that how you can be a clump buster. And I like having a clump buster for this mission specifically to go and spread stuff like that out. I just think it's something that you need to be aware of, that this does happen a lot, and have a plan for it.
Yeah, I've been calling it the bunker, where you end up with that kind of Dorito of protection and create a further distance for your opponent to travel to go after that midline point. And just how much everything kind of encircles, Ryan's side of the board. And yeah, I definitely in general feel advantage when I have the bunker on my side. And I definitely have been thinking about how do I bunker bust when I don't get it? So it looks like we are going to have a 7 Scorch turn now. So let's see. So Kit lived. So he only has 2 health, but he is alive. And so that means if 7 Scorch can kill Hunter and Fixer and get one of 7 Scorch up there, then he could take that midpoint with 7 Scorch and get a couple of wounds. I don't remember if I watched this portion, so I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out. Okay. So they've done on the trail. So we got Sev shooting at Fixer first.
So what I really like about this is like this resets the struggle. Like it puts them both back onto like evens.
Okay. So 2 blocks hit to a crit. 1 expertise for Ryan becomes 2 hits. So it's going to be 4 down for the first Sev attack, which is almost certainly going to kill Fixer. I think it's 4 damage, 2 shoves, disarm, climb. So there's no Fixer's not getting shoved anywhere, but this is likely going to get the support model far enough that he can climb up. Man, that climb on the tree is so good.
It really is.
Okay. So now he just needs the Hunter kill, and he's going to take that point plus get 2 momentum. So 3 blocks versus 5 hits will be 2 down, which is going to be enough to kill Hunter. Hunter was exposed on that one. So Kit actually gets to shove Hunter here because of the fail after the reroll.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite parts about this specific play is that he is ending with 7 Scorch, or like that other one that's in the middle, on an objective still. And so he didn't like free up that objective for an easy take, which is something I feel like I've seen a lot at Evergreen, where these big swing turns were because people needed to use 7 Scorch to go make a big swing, and then they end up leaving 1 or 2 points in the back, like exposed for their opponent to just come take it.
Well, sometimes you kind of have to make the play happen, and you're kind of banking on that climb to get back to that point, and you just don't get the climb on the one you needed it on. I'm guilty of this.
Yeah, definitely happens. But I think if this is just something that, like, if you're like a good player, really wanting to push yourself to be great, try to see if you can leave yourself in a position where, like, hey, if things go as bad as possible, can you just stay max range 2 and still get to the ranges of the things that you needed?
Mm-hmm.
And they actually still have a move action here. So we got Ryan. He's moving the one who's on the terrain to try to block having any sort of ingress landing zone. And the other one moves to get within range of Fixer so they get a hunker token, so they have Obi shenanigans. That was a fantastic 7 Scorch turn.
Mm-hmm. And like I was saying earlier, he's now reset struggle 1, where it went from like, I should probably concede this struggle, to, okay, there's still some gas here.
Yes. Yeah, having gained all that momentum, and then he ends on 1, so he gained 3 momentum that turn. I mean, he does, like, Kenny has 7 Scorch in reserve, but can he like get them up there to influence? All right, so he elects to not pull 7 Scorch and grabs the ARF troopers.
I think that's fair. Like, he might be sitting in the spot of he kind of wants to, like, there's a lot of he needs to get done and not on the side of the table that 7 Scorch are on. And so it kind of puts him in a rough spot of struggle 1, to where I'd rather save them just in case I don't win this, to have a really good start to struggle 2.
Yeah. So here, I mean, ARFs are a reasonable pull. I think there's a world where they could potentially defensive maneuver forwards, but what Kenny's asked, so Kenny's called a judge over, which is moi, and he wants to know if Kit is already in position of the ARFs. Oh, this is funny. I think this is when I stepped away for like 2 minutes to grab a sandwich. And I put Donovan in charge of judge calls. And so they were both asking like, "Hey, are you everybody cool if Donovan makes the call?" And so try to teach the next generation like how to make these calls. Donovan's seen me do this enough times about like how I go about checking these sort of things to try to get as precise as I can. So it's actually kind of cool here getting to see Donovan try to check this himself. So I think good execution on how he used the tools to verify that the ARF was just out.
Absolutely.
And if anyone's going like, "Hey, that's Ryan's son," Kenny like verbally agreed. Yep, nope, totally trust Donovan to be to be an impartial third party here. All right, I think this is the ARF closer to the top of the screen, shooting at Kit Fisto. 4 total blocks for Kit. Looks like he goes 1 down. He did roll a fail, so Kit gets to jump off the pin. 2 crits go through, so that'll be 2 damage push pin. So that is going to get the second wound on Kit Fisto. Let's see. So does he have to get both of them up there? Let's see. So all he has right now is he has Anakin and Pawns, and it's just 7 Scorch and Obi. So yeah, he just needs the 1 to take the point. Again, this is what we were just talking about earlier, where rather than him like walking towards the ingress just to like maybe see if he fits over by Fixer or something, he's electing to just make sure he's not giving Ryan an easy take. And ends that turn 1 away from winning the struggle. The flip here is Wolfpack. So what do you think? Is Ryan still fighting over struggle 1 here?
So the fact that Kenny has 7 Scorch in reserve tells me no, you should not be fighting over the struggle anymore. Because you're just going to be giving your opponent easy pickings. It's okay to go. I would be hunting setups. That's what I would be doing here. And like Ryan had the big pull to get back into the game, but Kenny's just kind of easily able to undo all of the work done. So as this comes down to the clump, right? The clump enables these types of swings.
Yeah. So the thing that I want to point out here is just where exactly things are at on the scoreboard, right? Because the problem here is that really Ryan has to score 5 for this turn to matter, right? If he scores 3, it ends on 1 and Kenny's in range for 3 plus a wound or score 4 to win. If he ends on 0, you still fundamentally create the same situation for Kenny.
Yep.
Right? Because he'll gain that extra momentum for it ending on 0. And so it's kind of in a spot where how you utilize the resources here is very important, because if you play for maximum score in this one, unless you legit think that you can score 5, which is just probably not possible. And what do we got left in the deck for Kenny? I think it's Anakin and Anakin and Fixer.
Yep. Because Fixer, because Fixer got moved up there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's Anakin and Fixer left in the deck. So yeah, I think here I'm planning for the next struggle and going for damage. But he's got some of the key wounds already. Unfortunately, I don't think he's getting chip damage on 7 Scorch.
No, not with Wolfpack. Not that far away.
Yeah. I mean, they're range 5. They're long range, but that's probably not going to happen.
Well, I think this comes back to another one of the cool things that I love about pawns right now is you're almost never really benefited from killing him. There's nothing to tax. Like, you're not hurting anything other than taking a body out of the equation.
Well, so here for a second. So we were both kind of going, Ryan gives up on the struggle. But if he kills the ARFs here and gets both of the wolf pack on that objective, man, and like maybe he actually kills the ARFs, gets one wolf pack on the objective with the whole clump, and get the other one to back up 7 Scorch in that middle.
And just make it hard for him to score 3.
Yeah, like maybe he creates a world where he could hold down and maintain this struggle. Like maybe we were too quick to assume that it's over. So we do have a run and gun. I think some attacks are coming. I think there's a small chance you go after Anakin, but I think I would prefer taking down the ARFs. Oh, he's going for move action first. So one can climb. So yeah, he doesn't get Pack Hunter because Anakin is not engaged with another clone. He's engaged with clones, but not enemy clones. Okay. Blocking 5. Or 4 block crit and a hit. Or 4 block crit to hit. 3 expertise for Wolfpack in melee is 2 crits.
That's pretty good.
One damage strain shove is what we're going to see. Looks like I'm getting called over here. I mean, it looks from the top down like this is a pretty safe shove for Wolfpack, but from the player position, this is probably a lot harder to gauge. But basically, I just want to make sure that the angle facilitates shoving Anakin off. What do you think about targeting Anakin here?
I think it goes to the point of what we were talking about earlier, setting up, is he's getting chip damage out there on something that's still going to get an impact on what he's doing. I do think your play of the ARF would have been better. I just don't know if he could get in position to actually really hit them the way he wants to. Yeah,
I mean, he still gets to make a good solid ranged attacks into them, and has good show. At least that's what it felt like to me. But all right, so it looks like I think so. What he's going for is he wants to shove both of them off.
Well, he also did he coordinate. He could also have a roll 17 here.
Yep. So the Wolfpack did not end up on the objective. I believe this is an attack into the ARFs. ARFs have 2 blocks. 2 expertise becomes a crit. So 2 down. And he rolled a fail. Man, Kit Fisto had been very interestingly impactful here, because that is going to mean 2 shoves for the Wolfpack because of Kit.
It's great for this alone. I want to put him in places where I want more shows. Like I want to run Kit with Savage just because of this alone and keep him like,
oh, that's interesting.
Because that's what we've been complaining about for so long now is what, so give Savage a shove and he feels so much more impactful. Well, now you kind of get one.
You could do Kit Savage with Balin.
You could. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get a lot of cool Shin interactions as well. Okay. So that is going to mean that he is going to take the point because he has 2 guys there. So just finishing up,
So what are your thoughts on shoving the ARF to be contesting another point? Like I'm usually like, I want to put stuff out in the open space.
so sorry, Dizzer, what they were just verifying there was that, Ryan does indeed take the point, because Fixer's wounded, so there's no tie, so it's just Obi and Sev versus Pawns. What was your question, Diz?
Your thoughts on shoving the ARF onto the inactive point being this close to struggle 2?
Yeah, I mean, it might have just been a thing where it didn't matter. I think if you shove the ARF off of that objective, he's probably just ends up in range 2 of it anyway, so shoving him closer probably doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I do agree that that's something to watch for, but there's only range 3 between them, right? And so if you shove ARF off, like, I almost don't think you can... It would be very difficult to end up where he's not on that point. So Kenny's deliberating whether it's a 7 Scorch turn. He needs 3 points and a wound. And the real beneficial thing for Ryan here is, like, kind of the optimal target for 7 Scorch right now is the opposing Sev who's on that point. Or I don't remember if it's Sev or it's Scorch. But they got the Hunker token from Fixer, right? Which is hugely impactful here. Right? Being able to heal 1 and potentially move to block line of sight, get out of range. They have to get a point and a wound. So, like, the Obi-Wan identity here could absolutely protect the struggle for Ryan. It is going to be 7 Scorch. We are on the trail. If we've got MCP players, the way I've been describing this to the Marvel Crisis Protocol players is that 7 Scorch is our Zemo. Really good in a lot of lists, but also perfectly fun to play against. Doesn't make the game unfun or anything, but one of the more popular units. All right.
I agree.
7 dice from 7 Scorch into Scorch. Looks like 3 blocks crit to hit. And so here it's just the 1 crit basically goes through. So it's 2 damage reduced to 1 and supporting fire dash. I don't see the damage having been put on yet. Oh, they're attacking pawns. Oh, I see the logic here. Kill pawns, double up on that point. Yeah. But pawns rolls 4 blocks, and that means that the other one isn't going to go far. He needed one of them to go far enough down to get the climb, and then the other one takes supporting fire dash. And he just doesn't get it. He needed one of them to go 4 down.
I think this is a good case in point to back up what you were saying, where 7 Scorch feel like a Zemo, where they're perfectly fine to play against because they have turns like this where they can win you the world or they can flub and not get what you need at all.
Yeah. So now Kenny's hoping for. I like that he's still trying to play this out, where he wins the struggle if 7 Scorch gets within range 2. Oh no, he didn't do enough damage to pawns where the bomb is worth it. He needed to kill as well. But he does get the shove close enough to be on the point. It is a fixer pull here.
What's he got left in the deck?
Last card I think is pawns.
Oh, pawns. Okay.
No, it's pawns. Yeah.
Yeah, because Obi. Yeah.
So he definitely doesn't want pawns here. So I think he's happy to take the fixer activation, but he's got to make a big play here.
Yeah, I just don't know if he can afford to just score 3 again.
Yeah, the problem is scoring 4 is almost the same thing.
I think it's back to where it was earlier, where it's like he needs the 5. I don't know how he gets it here.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got a really easy score 3, right?
Yeah.
Fixer gets on there, scores 3, which at least stops Kenny from getting a momentum, puts it back into a situation where Kenny needs to score 3. Last activation let's say there's 2 cards left, which is Anakin and what's his other card?
Is it pawns? Or is it... Who did he Shatterpoint?
He Shatterpointed Anakin. So I know Anakin's in there. Is it pawns?
I don't know.
No, it's Fixer, right? Fixer's the other one.
Oh, because he got moved up.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So this is where, if we come back, if he had, let's see, how much damage did he get? How much damage did he get on the ARFs? He has 1 damage strain. So I think what he's looking at here is, can he get Fixer into range to get damage onto the ARFs and tie break the point so that he gets to reclaim the point that 7 Scorch are on, and have the Sev or Scorch, who's up on the top objective, move down, rule 17, finish them off, and then get to that back point. That would be a big play. That would be a wild play, but it seems like possible. So it looks like he does have range. Yeah, definitely has range. Definitely has line of sight. And he still has a move action, so he can move over onto that objective. So here what they're just double checking is that they can do Fixer Dice and Rule 17. And he's going to Fixer Die. Good Fixer attack roll there. Only 2 blocks from the ARFs, which is not super abnormal. All right, Fixer's just going to straight up be able to kill them.
You love it when it works out like that.
Yeah. He still needs to get the Rule 17 character to the objective is part of the key here.
I really like Fixer. I debated taking him over Rex. He's just
Yeah.
This
So
is
one of
fun.
the keys here is he gets the expose on the ARFs, which is what Sev potentially needs to get through him and get onto the appoint. So he hits the reposition, so that's not a move action, that's just a reposition. Now, rule 17. Ooh, okay, so he's even going to dash down to the ladder, which looks like he ends up getting onto the objective anyway. And then is going to attack still. 2 blocks versus 4 hits. 2 down. I don't think it does anything meaningful. Disarm shove. So, does get a condition out of the deal. Cannot get the momentum. Whew. All right. So that means that Ryan ends on 0. Can't gain another momentum to win the struggle. But Kenny has to score 3 on a wound or score 4. Starting off with Ryan in control of 4 objectives. Man, I think Ryan has come back to win this struggle.
Really, really, really swung. It's like, for me, like we talked about earlier, I would have just conceded the struggle and gone for kills, but he saw a way that I didn't see, and that's amazing. Like, I would have completely been just tilted, like, oh, this isn't working. So good on him for staying in the game and not just wanting to throw in the talent struggle 1, because he pulled something out of nothing. And maybe this is like, he has the reps with clones and Republic to see lines that other people just can't see.
Yeah, he's a Republic specialist. Like, he definitely used to play a fair amount of like Rebel Revenge and stuff, but for probably more than the last year, he's been really heavily into just like all Republic. Like, Obi's always in there, but you know, it's Obi and like 3 other Republic primaries, and has definitely refined his gameplay where he knows how to use all of them to the most effective. And I just want to like shout out to him. I love the inclusion of Wolfpack here instead of the other traditional 4s, because he's playing Fixer. He means he can easily get the hunkers on the Wolfpack, and the Wolfpack do a shit ton of work. Oh my God, do they do so much work? So let's see. So Fixer is the card that's pulled. Now he's deliberating whether it's Fixer or reserve and take Annie. He has no force left. So it's Fixer. He can't reserve. He has become rarely reserved. So do you think so we got back-to-back Fixer activations. Can Fixer pull out this game for Kenny here? Like, he could probably move, hit the ingress point, go down. Maybe, but if he kills, he could kill pawns and score the point that the Ryan's Fixer's on, but that's not enough. That's 2 plus a wound. That wouldn't give it to him. He needs more than that.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Yeah.
I think too many themes are down right now.
Yeah, that is a tough spot. Like, he's got Arf's down, Hunter's down. Fixer's currently wounded, not that matters. So I guess it's not that much, right? He just has 2 of the other units down, but he's not in a position to he can't really move 7 Scorched anywhere relevant, and Fixer can't move Anakin. One force is left for Ryan, and he has a pawn's activation remaining. Okay. It is Fixer's turn. He is removing Strain. So he is still disarmed. Currently, Kenny's just leaving the 2 conditions on there as he decides. Because as long as he dashes himself, he gets to remove both of them. Yep. So it ends up with 0 conditions because Fixer's tactic is heal and dash. Man, this is potentially like one of the best struggle ones, maybe of the whole tournament.
It's very, very intense.
Yeah. So I think I don't know. It seems like Kenny's thinking about Rule 17, but it doesn't look like he has any force left because those metal tokens on the side are Kenny's force. Or no, he should have one more.
Yeah, he's got one left.
Part of my screen. My Riverside is sharing this screen is covering up one of the force.
Yes.
Okay,
he's got
he does
one
have
left.
one force left for Rule 17. I think I can hide that. Excellent. I can hide that little notification that I'm sharing. So Fixer attack, I didn't catch who it was on. Looks like it was on 7 Scorch.
Yeah.
Sounds like 6 damage, push once exposed. So it'll be reduced to 5. And so that is, the attack is resolved. So this is before Rule 17. So he's going here. The only way that Kenny wins this struggle is if he takes a point and gets a wound. And so now that Rule 17 is melee, he's going, can I get out of melee range of 7 Scorch? So he is going to drop the Hunker, remove the Expose. And so he's going to dash backwards, hit this ladder, and the plan is to just block 7 Scorch being able to follow him so that he can't make the Rule 17 attack. So he gives up the 1 point, but guarantees that he doesn't lose his 7 Scorch. So doubly important, protects the struggle and protects.
Yeah, no, he played it really well.
Yeah. So he also, because of that movement, Kenny is not Rule 17ing to keep a force for the next struggle.
Which makes sense.
Okay. So it looks like he is winning the struggle as is. Damn, we were both at a point where we were like, do you give up the struggle here? And we were both wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That Fixer play wasn't even like that dicey. Like, he needed to not whiff it, but he didn't even need
super
the Rule
interesting
attack.
to see. Super interesting to see like Ryan just pull this out because it looked very grim for a while there, especially when like he didn't get what he wanted 2 times in a row, but it just happened to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to sticking in games, right? Like, how many people in that situation maybe would have given up? And Ryan is like, nope, still fucking got this. Doesn't matter that I'm playing against one of the best people in the world. I can win Struggle 1. And very, very impressive by Ryan. Yeah. All right, so Pawns is shooting at Fixer, getting Fixer dice, so he gets +2 dice. Looks like 4 blocks for fix. So looks like 2 is going to go through. What he's just trying to figure out now is if hunkering pawns is impactful. So what he's looking at here, he's got 1 force left. So he could do the reposition from the tree, end within range 3 of 7 Scorch to get a Rule 17, and see if so spending a force for Rule 17 now. Moves down. Man, these 5 dice attacks from 7 Scorch just get brutal. 5 blocks?
They really do. Yeah, the 7 Scorch Rule 17 is just, it's so good. It's just so good.
Totally blocked out, no damage from it. I like the thought process though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so fresh force for Ryan. Moved on to struggle 2. Interesting flip here, right? So like the Wolfpack's point is on either way, and then it's a bunch of empty points. Well, I guess the middle is active, but nobody's on it. Maybe Ryan's 7 Scorch model is. That is not a great pull for Kenny. That's what it feels like.
Oh. No. Kenny,
was that a little obvious?
Yeah, it's.
And the priority roll is the Wolfpack's point and the far point in the corner, which Anakin absolutely cannot impact.
He can get one of those.
Yeah. But starting off struggle 2, where you're like, I'm going to score 1.
Yeah. Especially on strategic, where if like Ryan starts out holding 1 already, he can very easily turn this into a score 5 scenario.
Yeah. Okay. So Anakin walks, takes strain damage. So he's going to take 3 damage. All right. Makes an attack into Pawns. Pawns is going to block 4, but Pawns only has 4 health left. And so just the crit that plus the expertise is going to be 5 damage, which is enough to kill Pawns, which lets Anakin refresh a force. So now he's going to do, I'm going to end this.
Mm-hmm.
And make an attack into 7 Scorch, who have 3 health left. And goes 5 steps, which is definitely, so a double Anakin kill.
Love to see it. He did the thing this
Anakin
time.
may have gotten 1 whiff earlier, but he's coming out swinging. He's the chosen one, baby. Yeah, so what they're kind of discussing here is that decision to try to rule 17 set up for this Anakin play. So in retrospect, that probably was a mistake. They're just clarifying strain and enough damage to kill 7 Scorch. So Anakin does get to refresh another force. All right. So here, I believe I'm going to step in here in a moment because Kenny's trying to rule 17. So what I was having them stop there is because Anakin made his attack, then did, I'm going to end this, and Rule 17 and I'm going to end this have the same trigger. They're both after combat action ends, so he just can't do both. It has nothing to do with timing. He just has to choose between one of the two. So I actually felt better in this moment because I had to call Ryan on one thing earlier and was like, dude, you can't do two of the same trigger. And then I did it to Kenny. So I felt like it was very even at this point. So he's going to spend the force to jump now. So he switches stances, end of the turn. He gets a dash, a whole bunch of shit. What are your thoughts on the Anakin identity? Now we're over a year from his errata. Are we kind of right where Anakin should be? Is it too good? Is it not good enough? What do you think?
I really like it for the character of Anakin. I think it's very good. And I think the fact that he's just a casino on if you're going to get what he needs or not makes it to where it's fine. It's a lot of movement, but like there's a lot of movement in this game anyway. So is it oppressive? No, not really. It's good when it works. It's good when he gets his stuff. It's just you have to know how to play around it and expect it to happen. If you just play like, that's not going to happen, it's going to happen, and it's going to be very impactful when it does.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. It's solid. Definitely like Anakin really wants to do well. It's definitely like a overconfidence sort of thing, which I do think fits him. Okay, so just a single score there for Kenny.
Which is rough.
Yeah. He got some good movement. First card in the deck for Ryan is Wolfpack. God, I love this inclusion for him. I just feel like Wolfpack does so much better work than 2/12 or the Commandos.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
They just
I would love to have Wolfpack.
Good shoves, and better in melee.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I wish Vader was an 8 so I could take Wolfpack.
Yeah. That'd be more interesting if Phil worked with Galactic Republic primary instead of Jedi. Then it'd be interesting if you played Pawns, Phil, Wolfpack. But
I wouldn't hate that actually.
Yeah, yeah. If he could do his thing and give Vader extra advances, that would be dope. All right. So we get a little contemplation whether there's going to be a reserve here. I will warn the viewers, most of these videos are sped up to 1.1 times speed. So about like maybe a 10% increase just to make them just like a little bit more watchable. So just a thing to keep in mind, like when we get to the point where mission critical is called, like obviously I cut out deployment from the video. And there's, just a little bit of a speed up to, cut down on some of that thinking time. So the challenging part here is because Kenny... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't hate reserving the Wolfpack here, though. Like, you have options. You already have on like one of them on a point. So it's like they're not really doing a whole lot for you. And them being up right now kind of makes them more important to be able to go spread out and do stuff. Like if you reserve them and just drew right into 7 scores, that feels really good for you.
So it looks like he is going to go ahead and activate them. Looks like he's spending for run and gun. First one's moving for a better shove angle on Annie. And then that one's moving now. Looks like trying to stay outside of range 2 of the opposing 7 Scorch. So what they were checking right here, they were asking me if that pillar was tall enough to block line of sight. And I was just explaining, I was like, it's not range 2 taller than that platform, so it doesn't block line of sight. All right. I missed who this is into. Oh, I think this is a fixer dice attack into Anakin.
Yep,
So
that makes
Wolfpack
sense.
plus fixer dice into Anakin, I believe. So 5 blocks, crit to hit. So basically 5 blocks. I think that's going to be 2 down. So strain, a damage, and a shove. Anakin start off with 4 damage on him. Yeah, he was going, well, Anakin could deflect, but he's strained now, so probably not going to deflect. Bad block for Anakin. That looks like just 2 blocks. So 4 hits and a crit. 2 blocks, crit to hit, so that's going to be 3 down. I don't think they can deal 6, even with the strain on there. So it's going to be 3 damage, disarm, 2 shoves. But that does put Anakin in danger zone where he can't just get like, I mean, nothing in that list. Well, I guess pawns. Pawns could move Anakin. So you can't just like have pawns move Anakin or Anakin dies. Oh, so small correction. He was looking at 7 Scorches tree. Yeah, so there's correcting, going back to 5 damage strain, and now going to look at the right tree, which is correct. 5 damage strain was where they were at. I was just double checking that. Glad we didn't get to resolving shoves at that point.
True.
I think they can still double shove if they want. Yeah, what he's trying to make sure here is that he gets enough damage on Anakin that if he chooses to deflect, then Anakin dies. Yeah, so what he's thinking about here now is potentially shoving him into range for Kit to get his trigger as well. Top cut, simple tree decisions get real complicated.
They really do. And you can feel like a fast player, but when you play in top cut games, everything slows down because you have to evaluate everything.
Yep. Yeah, so it's 2 damage, pin, strain, shove. So that becomes 3 damage because he was already strained. So he is going to deflect and let Anakin die. A very interesting choice.
Yeah, I think it's smart just because like it's fresh deck. You could draw Anakin right here, and then you're not getting an activation with Anakin that you want or need.
Exactly, because he would have been triple conditioned. He would have been strained, pinned, and disarmed, which is a fucked Anakin activation. So he's like, might as well take the 2 damage so that I get Anakin more fresh, which is kind of the opposite of what happened in your game, right? Where Maul failed to wound 7 Scorch when the odds were in his favor, and then that ended up helping out because you trapped Din into an activation where he couldn't Shatterpoint 7 Scorch because they were so low on health and strained.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I did call out before this event how people manage conditions was going to be a really big part of this. And I think that is definitely proving to be true. So Kenny pulls Hunter, which he uses to dash, either Sev or Scorch. Sev, oh, his bases are marked. You can see it on the base. Whoop. So that was Sev moved onto that objective from the Hunter tactic. Man, so something that's happened here is we are now at a point where Kenny has eaten 9 strain damage. That's like a character worth of health from the wolf. Mostly has been wolf pack strains, right? I think some of it's from Seven Scorch, but just having strain spread out has just softened up the overall health of Kenny's team in a really big way that may not have been like immediately noticeable. All right, let's see. Hunter's going after Wolfpack, who only have 6 health. Solid roll for Hunter. He's at the purple die is the hit from his identity. 3 blocks for the Wolfpack. So it's going to be 3 steps. 4 damage, push twice, strain. So, Obi identity coming into play, dropping the Hunker token to remove strain and dash.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? Oh, I just wanted to ask you about Obi in general in the meta, but go ahead with both thoughts.
So I was going to say that I really do like what the sci-fi guys do with adding dice, whether it be from expertise or hunter, is they'll use a different color. So they'll use like one solid color for their attack dice. And then if they're adding results in, they'll do a different color. So, and like, I might have to adopt this because it just makes it super clean to be like, oh, that's where that came from. I really like that instead of just mixing all your dice up. But as far as Obi in the meta, I think his identity's always been insanely good, and I think the fact that we're in such a condition heavy meta, it makes it very even more so to where it's really important. I think Obi's just in a good spot. I think everything's in a good spot. It's really hard to like say something's bad right now. Yeah.
So it was a score 4 for Kenny. Ryan has verbally been like, all right, I don't think I'm fighting over the struggle anymore.
That's completely fair.
Ended up on kind of rough objectives for him to even try to like go for the double score. He pulls Fixer here, which I think is totally fine. Just like kind of getting Fixer activated. Let's see. His Fixer is not wounded. The players were just double checking there, where like Kenny was, thinking, hey, I thought I strained them. Oh yeah. That was the thing that you healed when you remove the Obi hunk. I kind of like that Obi and Kit Fisto are just looking off the table, right? They're like, clones, go do stuff. We're
distracted that way.
Yeah. It was also good Hunter pull. He didn't have to spend any force that turn. And so I think that additionally makes that Kenny play really solid when you're like, you get a big swing and you didn't have to spend force to do it.
It also really helps Kenny going into struggle 3 too. Like it really just helps so much right now at this point of the game.
Because Anakin turns could get real expensive real fast.
Mm-hmm.
So really all that happened there was a dash and a heal on Wolfpack to kind of tie that back point going forward, the bottom left. And then he hunkered to be on that objective. And then I think he's going to take a shot. Coordinated fire strain into Fixer. So Fixer into Fixer violence.
I like this. This could take a free thing to get your opponent's tiebreak piece down.
Yep. Or at the very least, have him close to death and strained.
Yeah, because then that's the best thing about having 7 Scorch on the table is like if something is 1 away from death, that might be a 2 momentum swing, which is massive.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have stuff like 7 Scorch that can potentially do damage 3 times, right? Because you got bomb and 2 attacks.
Yep.
So the 4 expertise is good on Fixer, but it was a good enough block that he was just going 1 down. But it hits the key numbers of 5 damage with strain.
Yep. Which is exactly what we talked about.
Magical.
which is still also in range of like 7 Scorch bomb death because 1 result is 2 damage on the bomb because of the strain.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's in this particular case, I think Coordinated Fire Strain is actually better for Kenny than Coordinated Fire Pin or Coordinated Fire Damage because of its interaction with 7 Scorch and just like where his numbers are getting to.
And that's why Kenny, you see a lot of 501st or Wolfpack going with 7 Scorch on the table because you want that Coordinated Fire Strain so much.
Yeah. So he pulls 7 Scorch, elects to reserve them because he just wants them for struggle 2, or sorry, for struggle 3, and then pulls Fixer, it looks like. Yep. So Fixer is going to dash himself, heal. They both realized that they had kind of forgotten about the mission card rules up until this point, but it just, I don't even know how often it would have been impactful.
I feel like struggle 2 is the most commonly forgot about one where it's like you forget I have a free dash here or sharpshooter impact.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever shot at anybody who was actually on an inactive objective. Bad block roll for Ryan, just 1 block. So I think what happens here, I was watching for this part. He wanted to do healing on his own Fixer, but then realized that if he did that, he doesn't get the wound on Wolfpack.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they were just reviewing like, hey, they were at 6 damage strain. The Obi movement removes strain because you get 1 heal there, and then Fixer moved him, which removed another one. And so unfortunately, he couldn't get the big heal on Fixer and get the wound, so he elected to take the wound. Okay. Flip. All right. This is not like an amazing flip for Kenny, but an amazing flip for Ryan, but as much as it like doesn't necessarily look amazing for Ryan, I think he's probably happy with like he can at least start it off where none of the objectives are controlled by Kenny.
Yep.
So yeah, very easy pick, right?
There's also that and like being so fresh in the deck, you're like I have the mobility to go shoot across the table, so this is fine. I could take the one that is typically less advantageous and just make sure you don't have anything, and that's what matters most.
Yeah. Let's see. 7 Scorch is down. So Ryan's only starting off with the 1 point that Fixer is on, which is obviously not the priority point. So he had pulled pawns, and he's just kind of elaborating whether or not it's worth doing pawns here. My gut right here is reserve pawns. not a big enough play, and there could easily be points later on where somebody's just shoved off, where pawns could be moving someone onto a point. But I think the downside is like, what's the worst pull here? I guess Obi and Kit probably like aren't dramatically better than pulling pawns. But pawns is maybe
what
a little
I do
more
like
useful later.
Yeah, what I do like about pawns though is, I mean, it kind of invalidates everything because you just go into Shatterpoint. It makes it perfect. Yeah,
Reserve pawns gets Shatterpoint. What more could you ask for?
exactly.
So, yep, we're gonna see the should we rename them Sev, Scorch, and Shatterpoint?
Well, see, I don't know, because like they get to go get it, but I prefer, especially because they're going to be removed off the table, right? Or is that the first wound?
No, that's just the first wound.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then yeah, it's Shatterpoint. If it was second wound, then it's like I like saving them for when like they're undoing something instead of just doing something.
Yeah, no, Kit got Shatterpointed in the first struggle, so they've only been wounded once.
I'm used to 7 Scorch having 2 wounds on them at this point of the game.
Ooh, that is one mistake though. The Sev could not on the trail to that spot because he's not moving towards an enemy.
If he declared the ARF, it's enough angle that he probably would have been fine. Or Anakin. He could have called Anakin.
No, because I don't think there's a way that Anakin is like the angle towards Anakin would work from that spot. But yeah, I'd have to double check exactly where he started. But that's definitely something you should check because your final position after the ingress has to be within the angle. It's possible that he could have gone towards Anakin and ended on the other side of the ingress point and maybe stayed within range. So there's probably a way to do what he was doing. But that is a very important thing to check. Like on the trail does get restricted in this particular situation. Okay, Fixer dice into the enemy Fixer. Very good roll. 4 crits, 1 expertise, which becomes 2 hits. Which will be full tree, so he can have the climb if he wants. A bunch of damage, disarm, shoves, and then climb. Yeah, it's going for the shove him. I don't think this matters, right? Like, because you're almost certainly not Shatterpointing Fixer. And since Fixer's already been pulled, I agree with his logic here. Just don't bother with the shoves. Fixer's probably not going to be relevant for the rest of the game. Unless Kenny pulls Shatterpoint and it's just like a perfect Fixer activation.
Are they in mission critical at this point?
I don't think so.
It should be close. But like, I feel like Ryan's played enough games that he has that internal clock to know what's coming close, that he just needs to save as much time as he can, and like not wasting time with shoves and all that is key.
That is definitely something I learned from War Machine, right? Where there's a certain point where you're like, don't fuck around with the little shit that doesn't matter when you might need a few seconds later on. So 3 blocks on this attack roll. I'm not 100% sure who the attack is into. Looks like it's going to be 4 down. So it is going to be the same thing. 2 shoves, disarm. Oh, it's into the enemy 7 Scorch.
Disarm is great into them. It really limits your Rule 17s.
Again, he's just gonna not, like, he's like, I'm fine with where 7 Scorch is currently at. We're not gonna bother. And now they get to do all of that and hunker at the end, which is huge. This is one of the things that like the Obi list does when you get into this kind of position and you have full health models with the hunker token, right? It becomes very difficult to create big swings backwards. I think it must be mission critical because he just got 2 momentum. 1 right would be for killing Fixer. So I think they are in mission critical.
Yes. Which immediately puts Kenny into a really rough spot.
Yeah, he basically has to make a big swing here or it's going to be over.
He does have 7 Scorch in reserve, and they can do it.
Yeah. They are disarmed now.
True.
But he's got to do it. So the math here is that there's the Obi being able to remove the hunker to like get a heal and like remove a key status effect. Absolutely changes a lot of like really critical math.
And then the fact that you can't really just shove 7 Scorch off of a point, you're going to have to kill them.
Yeah. And that's where like killing them, but like that one heal can be so impactful. Okay, so I totally understand Kenny going into the tank here. This is a make or break. He kind of has to wound 7 Scorch though, right?
I think he has to go for it, yeah, because they're on the points, and like his only in is to get priority here and kill 7 Scorch, which is a big ask. Like,
yeah. Let's see. So, trying to think who's on that point with Fixer. That's definitely one of Ryan's models. It's not the Wolf Pack. Oh, it's Pawns. So Pawns is down. Okay, so he needs to shove Fixer off that point, and he needs to kill 7 Scorch. All right. Okay, so he's just going to go. He's going to accept the score of 2, and okay, so he's electing to attack here. So I think this is a really significant mistake on the part of Kenny, not doing the move action first, because now their dash range, their drop hunker dash get outside of range 5. So this almost certainly means that this is game over. Very solid block on the first one. So 2 damage strain. And so, yeah, I think this is where we're coming to the deliberation of Ryan's like, okay, what's my best drop hunker dash play here? And yeah, it looks like because you don't have to move the one who got attacked, you just move one of the characters in the unit. You create a situation where he can dash the other one out of the range 5. And that actually makes it impossible for the bomb to get a kill. So that's what they just spoke about. Okay, the other one is going to dash outside of range 5. They're going to show it for the screen. So remove strain. Dash out of range 5. Yeah, no, Kenny needed to do the move action and get closer so that play wasn't viable. Damn, that is a tough mistake to wrap things up on. But first off, before we get into post-game analysis, I just wanted to say, like, shout out to both of these boys for just letting me record the game. 2 absolutely fantastic players. Kenny and Ryan, you guys are awesome. Thanks for letting me record. This is an incredible game.
100%. I think they played a great game. I think Struggle 1, oh boy, like it was just So much going on left and right. Like we talked about earlier, Ryan able to pull stuff out of thin air and get right back into it was super clutch.
Yeah, that was, man, Ryan made an incredible comeback play in that first struggle. Obviously, there was some, I don't know if I consider this a dicey game, right? Because, I mean, there was some like, that opening Hunter attack was kind of perfect. He got to do like raw crits on a 5 dice attack with 0 fails. Basically like putting Ryan on the back foot right away. But then there was an Anakin whiff, right? You know, which can happen, right? Like Kit's a tanky boy, but man, very, very, very cool game.
I do.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
I think Kit is incredibly good, and I think that it's hard to say some people are sleeping on it because everything's getting played right now. But like Kit should be played more. I think like what Obi's doing with his identity is still super important, and we don't see enough Obi these days. I love what the sci-fi guys are doing with Hunter and Annie. It's great.
Yep.
I think overall this game showcases a lot of the stuff that you have to watch out for with some stuff that is incredibly meta relevant for competition. So this game really showcases the plays, the sneaky stuff you can get away with, what 7 Scorch are doing, the efficiency of Hunter with Fixer and 7 Scorch. A lot of what is relevant right now is showcased in this game.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I really think the Americans need to fucking get on the goddamn Obi train and realize just how powerful this guy is in this particular meta. And there's a lot of ways to build it. There's like this Kit combination. You could play Hunter in the Kit spot and go for a lot of damage. There's a lot of powerful ways that you can play Obi, and you don't have to lean totally into his identity, but just having the option for like 7 Scorch in a late game to potentially have a Hunker token, which turns around the whole game. Yeah, fantastic. But, again, I also wanted to shout out just in general, the Utah guys for coming out. I know it's a huge drive for them, but they're just such a fantastic part of the community. It's, having them around, being able, like, I had like an hour-long chat Saturday night, maybe longer than an hour. We were just talking deep strategy, mission selection, what's fair, what's not. One of the highlights of the whole event for me. So just big shout out to Kenny, Sam, and Scott in general for coming out. And Dizzard, thank you for coming out and recording this with me.
I had a wonderful time. I really enjoyed it. Glad I could make it. So I'm glad I could watch this game because this is one of the ones I was like, what happened in that game?
Yeah. Wild game. I'm glad I got this one recorded because this one, potentially one of the better games maybe of the whole event. But yeah, we'll wrap things up there. Next year, you should all come out to Evergreen, have a blast with us, get to hang out with Dizzard and I. And again, shout out to Ryan and Kenny. And the most OP thing that you can do is, Obi-Wan's back, baby. Later, nerds.